Today I'm going to talk to you about a mindset that is absolutely killing our confidence. It's a mindset that we all default into, especially when something really negative happens in our lives. And that mindset is the victim mindset. Now, before we go any further, there's 2 points that I want to make before I teach about how this victim mindset is killing our confidence. Number one, there's a difference between a victim and a victim mindset. Let's say you drive to the park. It's the same park that you drive to every single day to take your dog for a walk. You park your car, you take your dog out, you walk your dog all around the park, and when you come back, your windows are smashed in and all of your materials are stolen out of your car. That is an example of a victim. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't put signs on your car that says, "Steal all my stuff," and it's the same park that you go to every single day. You were a victim of a crime. And unfortunately, many of us have been victims. Some of us have been victims to just the wear and tear of everyday life. And some of us, unfortunately, have been victims to really terrible and horrific things. Now, we are not talking about a victim, and we are not trying to blame the victim, especially in those types of circumstances. A victim mindset is when something happens and we stay the victim. Or what usually happens even more is that something bad happens in our relationships, in our workplace, in our families, and we think that we are just the victim to the circumstance, that we can't do anything to control the situation. It's kind of like the game Left, Right, Center. Now, Left, Right, Center is a unbelievably, hysterically fun game. If you don't know it, it goes like this. The game is simple. You have a pair of dice and you roll the dice. Now, this isn't just a normal pair of dice. The dice have an R, an L, a C, and a dot. And you have a stack of coins, usually real coins like quarters or dimes. If you roll your pair of dice and it says R, you send 1 coin to the right. If it says L, you send 1 coin to the left. If it says C, you send 1 coin to the center pot. And if it's a dot, you get to keep your money. So you keep going around and around until all of the money is in the center pot and everyone else is out of money except for the winner. Really fun game, really exciting, especially to play around the holidays. Except you can't claim to be good at Left, Right, Center. You can't say, "I am the world champion in Left, Right, Center," because it's just chance. It's literally just chance. You're just rolling the dice. Super fun game, really, really terrible way to live your life. Essentially, the victim mentality is, I'm gonna roll the dice, or rather, I'm gonna let someone else roll the dice for me, and whatever score appears there, that's what I have to do. Now, this mindset keeps us stuck. It keeps us powerless from moving forward. And that brings us to the second point that I want to make. It's okay to feel that victim mindset. Again, you don't have to be a victim to a horrific crime to feel like you've been a victim to a circumstance. It's okay to feel that sadness, that rejection, that regret, whatever emotion is coming from that victim situation, it's okay to feel that. However, it's not okay and it's not productive to stay in that victim mindset. I'll give you my example. I have been diagnosed with ADHD. Now, before you start to think that ADHD is the superpower, as many gurus have claimed that it is, I assure you that it is not. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that impacts emotional control, impulse control, executive function, just to name a few of the areas that ADHD impacts the brain. Now, it would be really easy for me to blame my ADHD on everything. I was late. Sorry, I'm ADHD. Oh, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm ADHD. Oh, no, I can't follow this path because I'm ADHD. And unfortunately, I have met people with a similar ADHD diagnosis that throw up their hands in the air and use ADHD as the shield as to why they can't get the results that they want in life. I posted recently on LinkedIn that I was ADHD and I had some comments about it, and I remember getting a message from somebody saying, "Wow, you're ADHD? You don't look like it," which is a different conversation for a different day. But of course I don't look like it. I don't look like it because I refuse to become a victim to my circumstance. And here's the tool that I use to pull myself out of a victim mindset. This is the 4 levels of responsibility. So level 1 is I am not responsible for anything. Now, before you think that sounds awesome, which I know it does. I want to be on the beach somewhere, sitting in the shade, reading a book, feeling the warm breeze on my face, not being responsible for anything. That does sound nice, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, again, left, right, center style mentality. I have no control over anything. Life happens to me and I have no ability to respond in any way. Now, level 2 responsibility, I think, is even more dangerous than level 1. Level 2 responsibility says, I take responsibility. Now, first of all, you can't take responsibility. I can't just simply say, oh no, I forgot my responsibility in the car. Will somebody go grab that? Responsibility isn't something that we hold, it's something that we own. So when we're in level 2 responsibility, what's happening is that we're drawing a line and we're saying, I take responsibility for my actions, but you need to take responsibility for your actions. It's essentially creating a conflict. Level 3 is I am responsible. Again, owning responsibility, owning that you have the autonomy and the power to respond to whatever situation is around you. And finally, we have level 4. Now, level 4 responsibility is I am responsible for it all. Now, before I go forward, I want to make a quick note about level 4. Keep in mind that responsibility is not causality. Just because something happens to you doesn't mean that you caused it. However, you can be responsible for it all. And if you wonder how you can do that, it's actually right there in the word. And don't worry, I'm 45 years old and it took about 42 years for me to finally see it in the word, and I had to have somebody point it out to me. Responsibility isn't causality. Responsibility is your ability to respond. Viktor Frankl says it this way: in between stimulus and response is destiny. Meaning that I can't control the stimulus in my life. I can't control the various things that happen to me. I cannot control other people as much as I have tried and as much as I would like to. I just can't. But I can control my response. And it is in that response where our destiny lies. It is in that response where we have power, where we have autonomy, where we have control, where we have choice to be able to create the life that we want to create. And I'll end with this. I'm not saying that this is easy. It's not easy at all. When something bad happens to me, I automatically default into that negative victim mentality. But when I start to evaluate what that mentality, what that pain, what that hurt is teaching me, and then I evaluate what my response might be, that's where I have choice to create the life that I want to create. And it's in that moment, in that choice, in that pause, where I create not only responsibility, but also confidence. So how are you taking ownership over the things in your life that are not quite as positive? Go ahead and drop those in the chat, and also drop in the chat, what else can you be doing to own responsibility and take back the power where you have been giving it away? I'm looking forward to your comments, and as always, make sure that you subscribe, stay off mute, and speak up your story.